I've been waiting for fall to roll around so I can talk to you a little bit about a dish that I think goes perfectly in the fall and the winter months. It's butternut squash risotto with duck confit. I want to talk to you a little bit about risotto first. Risotto is a nice grain, a little harder grain than normal rice. This is a Coronale type, which is the best one that we can possibly find. Thing about risotto is it takes a little bit of time to cook. It's very temperamental, and when you serve it, it has to be perfectly cooked and flavored. Duck confit. Right here I have a duck leg. This is a raw duck leg. This is a Long Island duck, free range, that grows outside. What we do with this is we cure it. Preserved duck confit is a preserved duck. We cure it with sea salt, fresh herbs, a little bit of pepper, and we put weight on it, and we let the salt take the moisture out of the duck, and actually the herbs add some flavor to it. When it's done, we usually saute it up a little bit. We cook it in some duck fat, and then what we do is we peel the meat away from the duck, and we chop it up into a nice julienne. It's got a very wonderful flavor to it. Butternut squash. Butternut squash is very hard. It's a little bit difficult to work with at times, but it's got a lot of flavor. When I was a kid, I wouldn't even touch my lips. Today, I roast it, we serve it as a vegetable, and in this particular dish. So let's get started. I'm going to heat my pan up with a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and we're going to start with some chopped shallots. Okay, we're going to take those shallots. I'm going to saute them up a little bit. As that's cooking, risotto itself, you add it to the pan after you saute the shallots up a little bit, okay, and you let it get coated a little bit with the olive oil. Once it starts to get coated, then what you're going to do is you're going to begin to add your chicken stock or broth, either one. The rice starts to absorb the stock, you add a little bit more stock, and this is how the process goes, and it usually takes approximately about a half hour to 45 minutes. In between, we add a little bit of white wine to it, let it soak up, and it gets to certain point, we add our butternut squash, a little bit of fresh thyme, and along the way we're going to have to add some more white wine and a little more chicken stock. And we'll just keep stirring that up. We don't have to add heavy cream to this. I'm going to add a little bit to it. We do try and cook a little bit on the healthier side. So if you prefer, if you don't want that in it, if you decide that you want to have this dish, we'd be happy to leave that out. It adds a little bit of richness to it and a little bit of flavor. At the very end, we're going to take our duck confit and we're going to add it. As you see, I didn't add any salt to this. That's because at the very end, I'm going to add a little bit of grated Romano cheese, which is a little bit on the salty side. The duck confit has the salt in it as well. It's perfect. Nice and creamy. Have a little fried sage leaves on here. To garnish it. And there you have it. Roasted butternut squash risotto with duck confit.